84 pounds, Class A. Zach Dominguez, a sophomore from Omaha Creighton Prep, will face Joe Hug. In Class B, it's Josh Langdon against Paz Antunez. In Class C, it's Curt Helgoth of David City Aquinas meeting Dustin Garrison of Tri-County. And in Class D, Ronny Joe Miller from Arapahoe facing Kenny Nordhues of Greeley, and Kenny Nordhues going after his 4th straight title. I would imagine it takes a little pressure off of Kenny here, but he's got a tough wrestler, and Ronny Joe Miller, who he met a year ago in the state championship. In fact, Ronny Joe Miller has lost 2 matches in the last 2 years, once last year in the state finals to Kenny Nordhues, once this year to Kenny Nordhues.
I don't know how much pressure's been taken off of him, because I think he just got a whole bunch more pressure put on by his cousin, because now he's got to follow that act up.
Meanwhile, in Class B, Paz Antunez 21-2 for Boys Town. Josh Langdon of Sidney 35-0. Langdon is the #1 wrestler in B, and in A, Dominguez is undefeated sophomore. Joe Hug of Bellevue East is 21-4, and in C, Curt Helgoth 31-2 facing Dustin Garrison, who's unbeaten for Tri-County at 31-0. Garrison was ranked 2 and Helgoth #1, even though Helgoth had 2 losses.
Yeah, here's another case where out of the 4 classes, we've got 3 matches with the #1 and 2 wrestlers. Hug actually in Class A, the #2 wrestler got out to an early lead with a takedown against Zach Dominguez, countering Dominguez's headlock. Those two have wrestled. They wrestled in the Metro Finals this year, and Dominguez pinned Hug.
I can't believe, RJ, that you, as a coach, haven't mentioned that the Nebraska Wrestling Coaches Association have really done a great job on the ratings, which is proven there. I thought for sure you'd have to get your fellow coaches in there, but I'll do it for you.
They have. They did do an amazing job, especially considering the fact that the way that the Nebraska system works, and it's the only way to work it, is they don't actually seed the wrestlers in these tournaments. They, depending on where your district is and where you end up in your district, decides where you get placed in the bracket of the state tournament. So there's no actual seeding.
Kenny Nordhues gets a takedown in Class D. Nordhues in the red, and Ronny Joe Miller in the black, and Nordhues leading it 2-0 now in the first period. We also have a 2-0 lead for Josh Langdon in Class B. Langdon in the red for Sidney, facing Paz Antunez of Boys Town in the blue. And over in Class A, it's a 4-1 lead. Boy, that happened in a hurry. And I believe it's Zach Dominguez.
No, it's Joe Hug is a
oh, he's leading. Okay. And
Kenny Nordhues, 130-1 at this point in his career. His 1 loss came as a freshman. He's got 114 consecutive wins. That is a Class D record. He was also a 1,000-yard rusher on the Greeley football team.
And in Class C, I do want to mention we have a 2-1 lead right now for Dustin Garrison, the undefeated wrestler from Tri-County, trying to get a takedown. Nope, so they're both up. We should mention, all the things about Donnie Nordhues. He also tied a state record for most wins in a season now with 40. That ties the state record for most wins. No, wasn't that Donnie that did it? Donnie was 40-0.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so Donnie did tie the state record. I'm going to double check. We're both looking at each other. That's right. Donnie will be 40-0. Kenny would be 39-0. So Donnie did tie the state record for most wins in a season at 40-0.
They also have led their team to the Class D team title as well. They were talking yesterday, since they were in the 3rd grade together, their Greeley team has brought home a title from one state tournament or another. Or not a title, but did bring home a trophy every year. So they wanted to be sure and do it again this year. He started on the bottom here in the start of the 2nd period. He's going to get at least an escape here, if not a reversal, and he gets the reversal. Kenny, a very physical wrestler, is what I've noticed from him over the weekend.
I asked Coach Locks from Greeley, I said, now everybody wants to know, now tell me the truth, who wins between Kenny and Donnie? And he says, I'll tell you the truth, neither. They both know each other so much, all they do is counter.
It's probably a tie every day, right?
Yeah, and he said, I'm not lying to you. And I said, oh, yeah, right.
They go home from practice at the end of the day tied 26-26.
Yeah.
No one can win.
I think it's interesting that Kenny Nordhues, I think, was taken down twice all year. Donnie was the same, so they are both good on their feet. So if it gets into that situation, that's where he'll try to be. But right now, leading it 4-0.
Over on the Class B mat, Josh Langdon, the returning state champ from Sidney, ranked #1 in the state wrestling. Paz Antunez from Boys Town, #4, has jumped out to a 5-0 lead here. Almost a minute left to go in the 2nd period.
In Class A, it's a 5-3 lead. And leading that match is Joe Hug. And in Class C, we have a stoppage a little bit as Dustin Garrison leads 3-1. I've known Tri-County coach John McGarry for a long time and has just done an outstanding job there, and has had a lot of state champions, but he never had a 4-time medalist. Dustin Garrison will be the first 4-time medalist at Tri-County, and John McGarry has just done an outstanding job there.
Helgoth getting the injury there. Doesn't look to be anything serious. He's back up, back to the middle, trailing 3-1.
You know, it's interesting, again, a 4-0 lead for Kenny Nordhues with under a minute to go in the second period. If he goes on to win here, do you think the crowd will come to its feet again?
I'm sure they will.
They almost have to. It'd be kind of unfair, wouldn't it?
I was just about to say Josh Langdon from Sidney is a very tough wrestler on top, and just as I'm just ready to say it, Paz Antunez gets the reversal. And there's a reversal back by Langdon, unable to hold him on his back for the near fall points. Langdon, very, very good wrestler down on the mat. The one Paz Antunez, probably if he's going to be in this match at all, he's got to do it on his feet because that's where his strength is.
We have stoppages in Class A and C right now due to injuries. And now it's Garrison being looked at in C. And over in A.
5-3 in favor of Hug.
And in Class D, we still have a 4-1 lead for Donnie Nordhues is on top right now.
He's got a potential near fall situation here. He is going to get 2 points near fall out of that. Still hasn't let go of the hold, so the official will not award that 2-point near fall until he breaks that hold, because he doesn't want him to just keep using the same hold to turn the guy over and over and keep scoring. And there he finally awarded it once he released the lock on the chicken wing.
Well, they awarded the points to the wrong side. They'll get it straightened out. It should be 6-1, and it is 6-1 going into the third period for Kenny Nordhues.
7-2 in Class B now in favor of Josh Langdon of Sidney.
In Class A, it's a 5-3 lead for Joe Hug, and in Class C, Tri-County's Dustin Garrison with a 3-1 lead over Curt Helgoth of David City Aquinas. Garrison unbeaten, Helgoth 31-2, and again, it's interesting that Helgoth was rated a little higher. They're both 1-2.
Again, I think that's probably, again, a case where they haven't met each other, and Helgoth's loss have come wrestling wrestlers from different classes, possibly in Class B.
Garrison's other medals were 2 third-place medals and a 4th-place medal, so his first trip to the state finals. We're at 6-1.
That could be a really emotional event, because I know walking out through that parade of champions really gets the nerves going, and if you can keep them settled and wrestle well.
We're at 7-2.
Dominguez going for the headlock in Class A. He's going to get it. That's a takedown. He's going to get near fall points. If not, he might even get the fall out of this situation.
He was trailing.
And there it is.
Oh, he was trailing.
Came from behind. He was trailing 8-5.
Man, what a job by Dominguez. Getting his first medal, and it's a state championship, and goes undefeated. Man, what a job by Dominguez.
He had a tough road to hold to get into the finals. He had double overtime with 1 second left. He won in the quarterfinals. He came back and wrestled real strong in the semifinals. Was not wrestling real well early in the finals here, and pulled off the big pin.
Wasn't he down 8-2? I believe it was 8. Yeah, he was down 8-2, and then got the points. Or actually, it had to be 8-0 because he got.
No, he had a couple points.
That's right. So he was down 8-2, and then made it 8-5. Would have been awarded the back points to tie it, but instead got the pin. In Class D, it is now 9-2. Donnie Nordhues is on top from Greeley, going after that 4th straight state title, leading at 9-2 in the third period with 43 seconds to go.
We're going to have an injury timeout again. I think another blood stoppage. Talking about the 4-time state champions, the last ones to do it were Herb Reese from Central from 44 through 47, and Fred Brown from Omaha Tech from 47 to 50. I was curious. I haven't seen whether or not those two guys were able to make it down here to see this. It'd be really neat if they could. It'd probably make a good picture.
Again, Dustin Garrison leading in Class C. Garrison with the gold and blue, facing Curt Helgoth, and we've got a change over in B. We got
we got a winner in Class B. Josh Langdon from Sidney, 2-time state champion, 3-time medalist, a senior, runs his record to 36-0. With a 9-3 victory over Paz Antunez of Boys Town.
They're just starting the third period in C, and in D, again, it's now a 9-3 lead for Nordhues, who just let him go because, as I told you, Nordhues only taken down twice all year, and he's very confident on his feet. Under 30 seconds to go for Kenny Nordhues. His brother Kevin in the corner coaching. Kevin, a two-time state champion.
Staying on the attack, sign of a true champion. He's not going to sit back and let the time run out. He's going to put on a show for his fourth state title.
Well, I tell you, he is great on his feet, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. That'll be. I hope that he goes on and wrestles in college, because that'll be a big advantage to him. A lot more college wrestling is done on your feet. There's another takedown, another escape. He cuts him free. He's going to try to get one more. There's another, and here comes the crowd to their feet again for another standing ovation.
He's glad to take it. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Outstanding wrestler. Both Nordhues are outstanding.
And that's really tough for Ronny Joe Miller, because he loses 2 years in a row in the championship match, and there's only 2 losses, now 3 losses in 2 years, all to Kenny Nordhues. Well, we have one left, Class C. Dustin Garrison now leading 3-2.
I mean, you know how amazing it is just to be a 4-time state champ, because it's been so long since we had one, and to have 2 of them from the same school and the same family is just amazing.
Dustin Garrison gets a takedown in Class C. Great job by the senior from Tri-County to make it 5-2 now with a minute 38. That was a big takedown. He was only leading 3-2. And so now a reversal would still let him lead by 1.
There's an escape by Helgoth. That makes it 5-3. He's still in this match. A takedown would tie it. Helgoth also was on 2 state championship football teams. He'd like to add his 2nd state title to wrestling as well.
They're going to give
There's 1 point for stalling. A takedown could win it for him, actually, in this situation now.
Boy, Garrison in a tough situation. Undefeated. Helgoth 31-2. Boy, this is turning out to be a great match. Garrison had dominated the early part.
Yeah, this is another case like you and I were talking. He has to stay aggressive because he can't afford to get these stalling calls.
Again, Garrison trying to duck in there. In case you missed it, we have 2 4-time state champions crowned this afternoon. Both Donnie and Kenny Nordhues pulled the trick. I just want to tell our viewers who are waiting to see how some of their wrestlers did in the consolation matches and what medals they placed and want to see those wrestlers, we will have the medal ceremony coming up following this match. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Garrison almost gets the takedown.
Nice high crotch attempt. Helgoth able to fight it off. We're probably going to end up in a stalemate position here, or at least go out of bounds, and there they go. 40 seconds to go. 5-4 in favor of Garrison of Tri-County.
Keep in mind, Garrison has to stay aggressive because he could get hit with a stalling point otherwise, because he's already been hit with 1.
We should remind the viewers, Garrison in the blue and gold, while Helgoth is in the black and white and gold. There's another stalling call. That ties the match up 5-5. You can't argue with that call. He was backing out. Helgoth taking all the shots.
I was just going to ask you to explain that a little bit. It's changed a little bit of the interpretation over the years.
Well, I think in years, years ago, the matches were a lot more low scoring, and as the sport has progressed, the fans want to see more scoring, so therefore the officiating has changed a little bit in order to accommodate them and to make the wrestlers a little bit more active.
They're still both up. 12 seconds to go. Tied 5-5. Dustin Garrison from Tri-County in the blue and gold meeting Curt Helgoth
nice
of
shot by
Aquinas.
Helgoth. He might win it in the last 12 seconds here. Amazing Garrison able to fight that attack off.
Oh, wow. Now just 1 second remaining. So looks like we'll have, I think it's our 2nd overtime match.
Yeah, another sudden death overtime.
We had a 1 overtime match earlier at 106 pounds, which John Paul Wood won 10-8.
That was an excellent attack by Curt Helgoth, and it just as evenly impressive as was Dustin Garrison able to fight it off and not get scored on.
Here they go right after it. So sudden death.
No rest in the sudden death.
There's Garrison trying to get the 2 points.
No points yet. As long as Helgoth keeps moving.
Now Helgoth crosses over. Boy, this might be a stalemate here. Yep, they're going to both be back up again.
Boy, this is a great match. 2 evenly evenly matched wrestlers.
Keep in mind, boy, Garrison's got to be thinking to himself, he lost 2 stalling points, was leading at 5-3. And that carries over, so he has to be careful in this match not to get called for stalling again. Although I think they would be a little more cautious about it. There we go.
There it is, Dustin Garrison. The number 2 wrestler gets the takedown in sudden death overtime to win the state title 7-5.
Boy, that was a great, great match. And again, it was interesting. Garrison unbeaten was ranked below Helgoth, but Helgoth had, you know, a lot of that's based on competition, and that's what you have to look at.
Probably haven't met each other yet this year, so, you know, it's tough to decipher between who's actually number 1 and number 2 when they haven't wrestled, so they settled it right there.
Well, that was just really great to watch. And Helgoth showing a lot of class. He goes over and shakes the hand of John McGarry. Both kids showing a lot of class. I really, really enjoyed that match. Well, let's give you a recap now. The champions crowned at 134 pounds. In Class A, Zach Dominguez winning by a pin over Joe Hug. In Class B, it's Josh Langdon, a winner 9-3 over Paz Antunez of Boys Town. In Class C, Dustin Garrison in overtime wins 7-5 over Curt Helgoth of David City, Aquinas. And in Class D, Kenny Nordhues wins his 4th straight state title, goes unbeaten this season. In fact, the past 3 seasons is unbeaten as he wins 13-5 over Ronny Joe Miller of